Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Before I begin, I would like to just take a moment to offer my sincere condolences and pay my respects to Constables Hong and Constable Gillespie, and to their family and their colleagues and their loved ones. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge that we're meeting on the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and just reaffirm the Ontario Green Party's commitment to the truth and reconciliation process. I'd like to begin this morning by thanking the Financial Accountability Office of Ontario for releasing a critically important report today outlining the financial risk the province of Ontario faces as a result of the climate crisis. It is clear we are in a climate emergency, and that climate crisis is costing us billions of dollars each and every year, and the costs will only escalate if we fail to act, if we fail to reduce climate pollution, and if we fail to ensure that our infrastructure is climate ready, and if we fail to protect and defend the nature that protects us. Today's FAO report clearly shows that in this decade alone, that our transportation infrastructure alone will face $14 billion of additional costs associated with the climate crisis. This is on top of the $6 billion of damage that our buildings face in this decade alone from a previous report from the FAO, totaling $20 billion worth of infrastructure risk this decade. And when it comes to transportation, the costs associated with the climate crisis will only escalate over the course of this century, costing Ontario taxpayers anywhere between $171 and $332 billion. We simply cannot afford to deny the crisis that we face. Our pocketbooks depend on our action. Our lives and livelihoods depend on climate action. And our future and our children's future depend on climate action. And so while the government might be in court right now, hiring climate deniers as expert witnesses and essentially admitting that their made-to-fail climate plan is a PR exercise, we need a government who's going to act to make sure that Ontario is climate ready. And that's exactly why the Ontario Greens are calling on the Ford government to actually deliver a real climate plan that will reduce climate pollution in half by the end of this decade, to implement a dedicated climate adaptation fund so that both provincial and municipal infrastructure is climate ready. An adaptation fund that not only invests in the province investing in provincial infrastructure, but also provides funding to municipalities to invest in making municipal infrastructure climate ready. And finally, we are calling on the government to cancel Greenbelt highways like the 413 and the Bradford bypass, which will only pave over the nature that is there to protect us from extreme weather events like flooding and extreme heat and other extreme weather events, and to not invest in infrastructure that's only going to make climate pollution worse. We simply cannot afford for this government to deny climate action and to delay climate adaptation. I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time today.